Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. Today we'll discuss how Harry Reid is able to go 8 hours without going to the bathroom. Think I'm kidding? And he's got the rundown.
Sam, do you see dollar signs every time you turn on the heat these days? Today we talked to Don Soderberg, chairman of the Public Utilities Commission. And then we talked to Toni, Tennille, and the captain. Did you know Nevada has an ambassadress for the arts? Sam?
And coming up on the Pundit panel today, Greg Krause, Pat Coward, and the ever-irascible Jim Denton. It's all coming up next on the all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
Nevada Newsmakers, brought to you in part by Charter Communication.
The Abowed family has an appetite for dialogue. Agree or disagree, have the conversation. All opinions are welcome. Since 1977, Adele's.
Catch a straight, dine at 8, lucky you. Lucky you. Dance till 1, have some fun, lucky you. Lucky you. Taste the shrimp, have a sip, try the pool, play it cool. At the Sienna Hotel Spa Casino, lucky you. Yeah!
The biggest risk your company can take.
Well, Barbara, you did very well on your interview.
Hiring employees can help your business get to the next level.
And your resume looks outstanding.
And it can also expose you to corporate crimes and costly lawsuits that can bring your company to its knees.
So, we'd like to offer you a position.
Before you hire another employee, hire the professionals at Employer Links. Call today to get our free CD-ROM, The Top 8 Risk of Hiring Employees.
If you own a business and want to maximize your company's potential, join the Retail Association of Nevada. Our membership benefits include the Nevada Retail Network Self-Insured Group, providing workers' compensation coverage that can lower your rates. That savings can go directly to your bottom line. We are an effective pro-business organization that lobbies on behalf of our business members. The Retail Association of Nevada, protecting Nevada businesses for 35 years. Call 882-1700 to see what we can do for your organization.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad, political analyst Ande Engleman on No Holds Barred Political Forum. Now, from the News 4 Broadcast Center, here's Sam Shad.
Don Soderberg is the chairman of the Public Utilities Commission, and he joins us today with some important news.
Thank you, Don, for being with us.
Thank you.
We have a number of issues to talk about. First of all, it was announced just last night that the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission is not going to grant Sierra Pacific's request on as far as their contracts are concerned. Can you just briefly explain that and what the effects might be?
That was correct. Sierra Pacific, as well as a number of other companies in the state of California, asked FERC to overturn a number of contracts that we believe were entered into because of market manipulation. Enron and other power marketers. FERC declined to do so. The action yesterday was actually a reconsideration motion that FERC was looking at, and we expected them to do what they did. There are 2 FERC commissioners who have been appointed but not confirmed by the Senate, and we were hoping that they would be added to the board to go from a 3-member board to a 5-member board. Their nominations are being held up in partisan politics in Washington, and so with these 3 members, it was the exact same vote as the initial vote that we had in the beginning of the summer. So it's off to the courts.
Okay, so financially, what does this mean for Sierra Pacific? Is there still time before they would have to put up this money?
That is correct. There's a number of contracts. They all have different nuances. So now the appeal process will go to the federal courts. The district court in Washington, D.C. has jurisdiction. And then from there, whoever prevails will have to face an appeal to the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals.
Now, the bankruptcy judge the other day ruled that they could, in fact, use bonds and a minimum amount of cash for collateral for this lawsuit with Enron?
We were very happy with the way the bankruptcy court dealt with the one contract that has to do with Enron in all of the contracts that FERC dealt with. And what they essentially did is ask Sierra to put up bonds as opposed to a large amount of cash in an escrow account while these appeals go on. And so that gives us an opportunity to try to get the contract overturned in the courts. And in the meantime, Enron doesn't get any of the money.
Am I correct that in the Nevada case, the energy was never actually delivered?
Yes. Enron claimed a breach by Sierra Pacific because of their financial condition, and so they failed to provide the energy that was contracted for. And so what they are suing for is the difference between the contract, which was a very high contract, and the market price at the time, not the full value of the contract.
And actually what FERC said in their statement was that Sierra Pacific had a choice. They didn't have to go with these contracts. They could have done something else. That's why they upheld the contracts, saying they were good. All right, and quickly, we're heading into winter. We've had an early winter, went from summer to winter, and we've got very cold temperatures. Everybody's worried about their rates, and I know that Southwest Gas, which doesn't affect Reno but does affect Carson City and other areas, is looking for a rate hike.
Yes, Southwest Gas filed their annual, it's called Purchase Gas Adjustment, and that's where they come in and attempt to get the cost of the natural gas that they buy. They buy it at wholesale, and they pass that through with no profit. Last year, gas prices were higher than expected, and so there were balances, and Southwest Gas applied for those. They were considered to be prudent by the Consumer Advocate's Office and our staff, and Commissioner Escobar-Chanos has a draft order before us that we vote on today that will raise those rates.
11%?
We are looking at, actually with gas in southern Nevada, we are looking at 11%. We're looking at about 9.7% in northern Nevada.
Okay, now you've recently started an investigation into one of the telephone companies, or NOS, isn't that a...
NOS Communications has had disciplinary problems in other states and with the Federal Communications Commission. They have before us a name change application in which their allegations were brought up. I ruled, and it is a case that I'm the presiding officer on, that the name change application was the improper place to bring these. But we have charged our regulatory operations staff to investigate NOS to see if any of the types of violations that were found in other states occurred in Nevada.
What kind of violations?
Largely misleading telemarketing is what they're being accused of. So what we'll look at, what our staff will look at, is whether or not any of those type of actions occurred in Nevada, and if so, they'll report to the Commission in 90 days. And from that point, the Commission will either decide what the course of action could be.
Are they operating up here in the north or just in the south?
They operate out of Nevada in a number of instances, but most of their business is not with customers within our borders.
Really?
Yes.
They use this as their home base and operate elsewhere?
They have home bases around the country, but they do have a certificate with us, but they don't have a significant portion of their business in Nevada.
Okay, Don Soderberg, thanks so much for being here. We appreciate the
Thank you.
updates. We'll be right back on Nevada Newsmakers after this.
Hi, I'm Dan.
And I'm Terry.
And this is Dan's Pizza and Parlor. Everything we make here is from scratch. Our fresh cut fries, homemade hamburgers made to order, fresh pizza dough made with 3 types of flour, and Terry's secret pizza sauce, and Dreyer's world famous ice cream. And if you have a sports team, your kids can really have a great time here. Oh! Dan's Pizza and Parlor on Victorian Avenue, just down the street from Great Basin Brewery next to Pyramid Highway.
Would you like to savor a Trento pork chop? Or maybe pasta rags with grilled chicken? Hugo's Tuscan Grill at D'Andrea is a celebration of color, flavor, and freshness. Each dish is created from natural, wholesome foods that is delicious and nutritious. Hugo's is a comfortable restaurant with breathtaking city views. If you enjoy great food and good company, visit us here at Hugo's. It's the best that dining can be. 2900 South D'Andrea Parkway in Sparks.
Welcome to Sushi Club, best sushi in town. The Sushi Club in Independence Square uses the best quality products. The sushi is dynamite, and the service is just wonderful.
The Sushi Club is bigger and better. We have 11 sushi chefs on staff, and the service is great.
All your friends will tell you that Sushi Club is the best place for the best sushi.
Come join us for lunch or dinner.
The Sushi Club, 294 East Moana Lane in the Independence Square.
Now that's great sushi.
To experience the royal cuisine of India, you need some serious magic or simply transport yourself to India Garden, right here in Reno, where you'll discover Indian specialties refined over centuries. Sikh kebab, tandoori dishes cooked in our own tandoor oven, biryani specialties, curries, fresh-baked Indian bread, over a dozen vegetarian dishes, even dishes rare to India like dosa, South Indian-style crepes. India Garden off South Virginia near Sports West. We are India.
And now, back to Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad and Ande Engleman.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we're joined by two favorite people of mine, Daryl Dragon and Toni Tennille, better known as the Captain Tennille. And the reason that we've invited them here is that Toni is the ambassador for the arts for the Silver State. What does this actually mean?
Well, I asked when they appointed me what it meant. Basically, I was appointed by Governor Miller long time ago, and then Governor Gwynn, of course, has reappointed me. Basically, what I do is in my travels as a performer and around the country and so forth, I let people know that Nevada is not just cowboys and casinos, although we do have those. I let them know that we have a fabulous art scene here. And I'm very proud of what we have here in Northern Nevada with the Chamber Orchestra and the Philharmonic and the Opera Company, and not just music, but also in the visual arts as well, painting and poetry, and it's a fabulous, and people don't really realize that.
Well, you know, Art Town has been a huge success.
Art Town, yeah.
Can we build upon this? Is it something that we can do year-round?
Wouldn't it be great if we could? I mean, I think it would be very, very terrific for especially downtown Reno, where we're trying to, and Sparks, of course, and we're trying to turn that into a place where people want to be and want to go. And I think we're starting to succeed, and Art Town is a big start of it. If we could do something in the wintertime too, it would be wonderful.
Well, like what? Do you have any
Well,
ideas?
you know how in Elko they have the poetry festival. They always have it in February.
Right.
You know, Elko, February in Elko is, you got to really love poetry to go there. I think if we could do something similar to Art Town, same type of things, only have our venues inside, in various places inside, it would be really terrific.
I would rather see something in the 50s, like 50s-ville.
We have 50s.
No, all the time.
Oh, all the time? Well,
Not just hot August nights,
No,
but
no.
something in the wintertime too.
Just
That's
literally.
Daryl's favorite
Do not
decade.
allow any cars on the highway unless they're 50s.
oh boy.
Reno could explode with that.
This is my
Because so many
husband.
people want to come back to the 50s today. Let's just do it.
Well, you know, the casinos are certainly promoting that by most of the music you hear on the Muzak systems in the properties
Yeah.
are 50s music.
Yeah.
But it concerns me that if it's 50s music and somebody who's listening to that in high school, they're close to 70 at this point.
Yeah.
Not us, of course.
Not us, of course.
But you know,
But then
can't
the
we move
kids-
it a little bit further in?
No, not really, because then the kids would only be able to hear 50s music.
And
then
they
they would
love
grow
it.
up, and then they would want only 50s when they're 70.
This isn't just a cheap way to sell more of your records.
We were in the 70s, though.
Yeah, right.
We're 70s artists.
Listen, kids aren't going to listen to anything that's okay with their parents.
Yeah, no,
so
they're not.
You know,
No, they're not.
so
It's-
that's not going to fly. Good
You're
idea, but
absolutely right
but-
about
But
that.
okay, on a serious note,
Yeah.
we're talking about the arts, but also what other kinds of entertainment should Northern Nevada be bringing to our properties to be able to attract people from San Francisco? You know, when Hello Hollywood was here, people from all over the world would come here. They go to LA,
Yeah.
and people would say, you got to fly to Reno to see this show.
Well, we have to do that again, and I understand the property is up for sale, and whoever buys it needs to do another Hello Hollywood type show that is a must-see in this town. I mean, when Hello Hollywood was here, everybody saw it. When you had friends coming to visit, you took your friends to see it. That was a very important
and it is
thing.
economically viable in Las
yeah.
Vegas. I mean, there, you know, Celine Dion show, you know, $100 million building, let alone the cost of the production.
Right.
And the property was just happy to give the door to Celine Dion. They're making the money off all the other stuff that's
Right,
around.
and now Elton's coming in down there
Right.
also to do 10 weeks, I guess, out of the
now,
year.
all right. Now, you and the captain are going to be doing a special show.
Yeah, and I kind of think of it as part of my, as ambassador of the arts, one of the things that I like to do is support the arts with our own talents as much as possible. And Scott Faulkner from the Chamber Orchestra called me last year and said, would you consider doing a benefit for our orchestra? And I love the Chamber Orchestra. Not only are they superb musicians, but they perform in Nightingale Hall out there at UNR, and it's a lovely hall, not a bad seat in the house. And so, of course, I I said yes. And we're billing it as an intimate evening because unlike my usual performances of standards that I do, I do the classic standards of the 30s and 40s. I usually do it with symphony orchestras or big bands. I'm just going to have, I say just, Matt Kattengoop, who is a brilliant jazz musician, Daryl and I've known him for years. He's going to accompany me on piano, and Hans Halt, who has played with Captain and Tennille and with the Reno Philharmonic, is going to be on bass.
Okay, now it's this coming Saturday night, the 15th.
The 15th, right.
At 8 o'clock at Nightingale Concert Hall.
Right, and Daryl, the first half will be the standards, and the second half, Daryl will come in.
That's why I'm here, just to let you know that I'm going to be there, so you can be attracted with my kind of vibe.
Anybody who can't stand it till they hear Muskrat Love Again, they will hear it.
Right, right.
We've already had a request from one of our directors here this morning.
Right.
So as you happen to be leaving the building, you start singing that.
Hum.
Aaron will be thrilled.
We're doing everything from Moonglow to Muskrat
If people
Love.
want to buy tickets, where do they call?
They call the Reno Chamber Orchestra, and I'm sorry I don't have the number right in front of me, but they can call and talk to Fifi.
348-9413.
There you go.
Okay, and we have to stop saying any more about this, otherwise it becomes a commercial. You get the last word here.
All right. The fact is, people, I strongly urge you to do, if you're tired of the bickering at the legislature, this group knows how to play far more harmoniously than they do. Sam?
We'll be right back. Thanks, guys, for coming in.
Thanks, you too.
Before you head to Carson, take care of yourself with a visit to Tamarack Junction. Catch a hot cup of coffee and the morning news on one of our 32 TVs and enjoy the best food in South Reno. Tamarack Junction, your junction for fun. South Virginia and Amati Ranch Parkway.
The Abowed family has an appetite for dialogue. Agree or disagree, have the conversation. All opinions are welcome. Since 1977, Adele's.
Your home is an expression of all things comforting and familiar. For custom storage, you can count on California Closets to provide quality, value, and design integrity. The process is easy, combining your personal style with our organizing expertise. We care about what matters most to you, making your home functional and beautiful. California Closets, simplifying home and life since 1978. Call today for your complimentary design consultation.
When you sign up for Wells Fargo free checking, you get more than free checking. You get the freedom to bank when and where you want. Wells Fargo, the next stage.
Make your daily commute easy with breakfast or lunch at the Tamarack Junction. Enjoy daily specials, super fast service, and South Reno's freshest morning meals. Tamarack Junction, your junction for fun. South Virginia and Amati Ranch Parkway.
And now, back to Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad and Ande Engleman.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we have a terrific panel as always today. Jim Denton, political consultant, is here. Greg Krause from the RTC. And we also have Pat Coward, who is with Carrara-Nevada. I'm going to start with you, Pat. You represent pharmaceutical industries at the legislature. And I was just blown away by the understanding that HDL can be injected into the body and can actually turn heart disease around.
HDL is the good cholesterol.
Is the good
right?
cholesterol.
Okay.
And the scientists have known about this for years, but because there wasn't a patent available on this, that no drug manufacturer had actually been working on this. One doctor found that there was a little loophole, and they've come up with this medicine that has had the most phenomenal results in reversing heart disease. And I'm just shocked that the drug industry would not be interested in doing something that would help so many millions of people in this country.
Well, I think I don't agree at all with that, because I think the what the drug companies are doing right now, this is not only in this country but worldwide as far as research. I think you're going to see a lot of cures in the pipeline right now they're working on with gene splitting, gene mapping of the body, things like that. I think a lot of breakthroughs are going to be just unbelievable in the next 5 years.
Don't you think it's crazy, though, that there wasn't money to be available, therefore they knew that this would work, but they didn't work on it? I mean, isn't there something wrong with the system where we need to have the government step in, perhaps, and fund something like this?
I don't know the details on the specifics of that one, but that doesn't seem like a lot of companies would be interested in doing something like that.
I think what's a more pertinent question that I'd like Pat to comment on, and we're not picking on Pat, but representing the pharmaceutical industry, all of these states that are looking at re-importing drugs from Canada, I'm just personally interested in what your opinion on that, and what the opinion of your clients on that is.
But they're against that, number one. It's something that in this country here, all drugs must go through the FDA for approval. One of the things is, how do you know the drug being imported from Canada was manufactured in Canada?
Well, I don't see people dropping in the streets in Canada
my
from
point
drugs
exactly,
that they're
or
taking.
from drugs coming from Mexico. I mean, these border
I don't
towns
see people dropping in the streets.
along the Mexican border. That's their whole income, is senior citizens from the United States going there to buy their medicines, to get dental work done, to get their doctor's work done. And if people were dying like flies, it's like the whole marijuana issue. I mean, if people were dropping like flies, we'd all be going, no, that's crazy.
Sam, one thing you got to realize, in Canada, you have a total different type of healthcare apparatus there.
Yeah,
a lot of it's subsidized. A lot of it's subsidized by the government.
Yes or no?
You have a single-payer source there that the government pays for.
Some of those drugs say they are FDA approved.
The drugs are cheaper.
Of course,
the drugs are FDA.
The reason that the drug company, and we'll get off this subject in a second, but let's make the point here.
Yeah, I'd like to talk politics.
That the drug, we're not talking, you don't think that drugs are a big part of politics? The problem with the drug companies is that right now they are saying that, or they're actually not shipping drugs to Canada, because those are the ones that are coming right back to those FDA-approved drugs.
The fact of the matter is that for many people, particularly seniors, the cost of health care and the cost of drugs is becoming prohibitive. And that's why they're going to Mexico, and that's why they're going to Canada. And until the United States Congress invents a system that everyone can live with, including the drug companies,
yes, I agree,
that will give a drug benefit plan to seniors, we are going to have some serious problems.
And also,
that is going on in Congress right now. I think it's still being debated, and I hope that they come with something on this. Oh, it has. It's gotten very political.
Okay, Astra Merck lost the patent on Prilosec. It's now Prilosec over the counter. They joined forces with Procter & Gamble, a marketing company, and $1 billion is the advertising budget to launch that. Let's change subjects. Okay, Senator Reid stands up there for hours and hours on end.
8.5 hours.
And how did he avoid going to the bathroom?
He only drank a half a glass of water the whole time.
Okay. Was this a good thing or a bad thing, Jim?
Well, I think, I think it's typical. I mean, I personally give Harry points for talking for 8.5 hours. I don't know if I give anybody points for listening, but I give Harry points definitely for filibustering. Is it a good thing? Yeah, I think it's a good thing. I mean, it's part of the senatorial, it's part of the congressional decorum that has happened back there for years. It's part of the rules, and Harry took advantage of those. And, one thing about Senator Reid is very, very good at knowing the Senate rules.
What happened at the end of the 8.5 hours?
The majority leader came in and said there would be no vote taken, so knowing that it was safe, he then quit.
I thought maybe it was halftime, Matt. I don't know.
In John Smith's column today, he said, it was wonderful. For 8.5 hours, no spending bills were being passed.
From what I understand, Senator Reid even read passages from his book on Searchlight.
Yeah, which is one way to promote your book.
Well, that's tough. When you really stop and think about it, talking for 8.5 hours nonstop, that's not an easy task.
No, it isn't.
All right, George Harris wants to repeal all of the tax hike. Now, has George lost it at this point?
I think that it is disingenuous to suggest that this state can be run on a tax base of an additional $100 million, or plus or minus a few bucks in there, when you have the growth that we've had in this state, you have the population of school-age children that have come into this state. I don't think that's good public policy. I don't think that's smart fiscal policy, and I think that the voters will ultimately decide.
I think it'll be a political.
No, that's okay. But I'm Greg, you RTC. What if they told you had to give back tax dollars that you'd already spent? How would you do it?
You can't do it. The bottom line is there needs to be an agreement as to what do we want from our government, and then figure out the best way to pay for it. What I think was unfortunate is, as Jim just pointed out, we've had tremendous growth. We have to pay for the capital, the infrastructure, and then operate it and maintain it. There's no way that we can do that with the resources that we have, as we understand what the public wants from us in our particular area of transportation. They said they don't want congestion to get like Las Vegas. Well, that's why we have more resources. They want our roads in better shape. So you can't live with give-backs. You're trying to meet the public's definition of what they want, and we have to be efficient and effective. But I don't see how the services, the investments that we are making in education and all the other services for the citizens of the state can be funded with the revenue stream that we have.
Okay, a quick 10-second answer or less. Brian Krylicki forming an exploratory committee to run against Senator Reid for the Senate. What's the point?
It gives Brian name recognition. He's term limited as treasurer. I predict he ultimately will decide not to run.
Quick, 10 seconds.
I agree. He won't. I don't think he'll run. And if he does, I think there's a high gamble there. He has to get a respectable vote against Harry Reid, and that's going to be tough.
Okay, one-word answer.
I have to confess, I don't know Brian's motivation on that.
We'll be right back on Nevada Newsmakers. Good answer.
An honest answer.
Lori Ann and the staff of St. Ives Florist invite you to a very special occasion. On Saturday, November 15th, you won't want to miss our 12th annual holiday open house and design preview from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. The St. Ives family would love to share our magical wonderland with you and your family. St. Ives Florist, simply the finest, hopes your holidays are simply the warmest.
And I look forward to seeing you Saturday, November 15th at our holiday open house.
Atlantis is cooking up a party. It's every diner's paradise. Toucan Charlie's Buffet and Grill, voted Reno's best buffet by locals year after year. Experience the Mongolian barbecue, new Asian station, and sumptuous exhibition stations filled with fresh entrees, salads, and desserts. Try the Friday night seafood buffet and Sunday champagne brunch. Atlantis.
Hi, I'm Dan.
And I'm Terry.
And this is Dan's Pizza and Parlor. Everything we make here is from scratch. Our fresh cut fries, homemade hamburgers made to order, fresh pizza dough made with 3 types of flour, and Terry's secret pizza sauce, and Dreyer's world famous ice cream. And if you have a sports team, your kids can really have a great time here. Oh! Dan's Pizza and Parlor on Victorian Avenue, just down the street from Great Basin Brewery next to Pyramid Highway.
Nevada Newsmakers, brought to you in part by Charter Communication.
Hot show tomorrow. John L. Smith from Las Vegas.
We'll see you then.